Now talking with outside linebackers coach Austin Hernandez. Coach, glad to have you join us here on our Coaches Spotlight. And, for you, you are becoming more and more separated from your playing career.
Yes.
Tell me, do some of the players that are coming in now, do they even know who you are? Do they see you more as coach than former player now?
I would say they probably see me more as coach now. Some of the guys still bring up the highlight tape that you posted a couple years ago from back in my playing days, but I would say it's kind of transitioned smoothly back into just being a coach now.
And I would assume that that's probably got to be good for you. You see guys who have gone back to their alma mater at a young age. They kind of almost have to re-earn that respect that as a coach, kind of separate from their playing days. Have you kind of felt that?
I have. I feel like, they always had respect, and they always listened to me, and they knew I knew football. But now it's kind of just they see me as that coach. They know that I'm here to coach, and I'm not a player anymore. I'm not somebody who went to high school with them or was in the high school at the same time they were in the 8th grade. And so that helps a lot.
Last year was your first full year teaching after being a community coach for a couple years. Now going into your second year, what was that like? Do you feel like it gave you an advantage from a coaching standpoint being here on campus every day?
I absolutely do. I think just being in the building, being able to see the guys constantly throughout the day, it really helps, especially if they got questions throughout the day. They don't have to worry about asking me right at practice. Like, they can come to my room and still talk football with me whenever they need to.
Let's talk the outside linebacker position. You've got both starters back at your outside linebacker position this year, and some depth, some other guys with some experience. What are you excited the most about the guys you got coming back?
I think their level of play, I think it's increased tremendously over the past offseason, and I think they're feeling a lot more confident. They ask questions when they need it, but I think that they're playing at a level that we'll really see a lot of great things come out of them, especially Chris. Chris has become a lot more vocal, and he's taken on a leadership role, whether he chose it or not himself. But he's just being a more experienced football player, being a senior. And then White Man, just physicality. Him being a junior this year will really help out.
Yeah, he's and they both have a totally different skill set too, which I think brings, Chris last year. I talked about it quite a bit with Coach Carter. He was he had, I think, a defensive statistic in every category last year: forced fumble, fumble recovery, interceptions, sacks, pass breakup. He did a little bit of everything. So excited to see what he can do this year. Would you say your level of expectations for them has risen going into this year?
Absolutely. I think my expectations is for them to be out there and for them to know what's going on in the defense and for them to really just have a stamp on it. I think that the level of play that they can bring each and every Friday night will be a great help. I think that, in my opinion, that if they don't do their job, it's going to be very noticeable.
Last question here for you. What, going into this year 4 for you, how have you seen things continue? Obviously we had a little bit of a step back last year just from a record standpoint, but do you feel like the culture is still where it needs to be going into this year?
I do. I think the players expect it. I don't think anybody wants to go out and go 1-9 or 0-10. And I think the players understand that it's on them at the end of the day, that wherever this team goes is going to be based on how they play.
And what are you doing as an assistant coach? What does that look like for you at practice to reinforce that culture?
I think it's just having that high level of expectations at the end of the day, just knowing that they're going to be ridiculed on if they make a mistake, if they don't do their assignment, or if they just have mental mistakes that we shouldn't be having. I think just reinforcing that this is where we need to be and this is where we should be. And I think having that understanding with the players is something that will help out.
Talking with Coach Austin Hernandez on this Coach's Spotlight, outside linebackers coach. Coach, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you.